There we go.
Crack.
Andy might already be cracked and like half gone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I've made that mistake before, Andy, and like started drinking before we did this. And then it was just, yeah, it escalated quickly.
That's okay. You know what? I'm going to have a great time.
Ron Burgundy style. Yeah, so Andy, welcome. Welcome to the first podcast.
First of 2023.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, it's the first for all of us for 2023. Look at that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
The World Cup's behind us. Torin, you do the scheduling. You get us through. But I want to ask Andy, okay, do you have a soccer team? What's your level of soccer fandom?
So I'm definitely a World Cup fan watcher. So like most Americans, I would say. I know majority of the Premier League teams, but do I have a favorite one? Like Tottenham for a while, like Liverpool a little bit, but it's probably about it. Torn's cringing over there.
I don't have one.
We have one notorious Tottenham fan that's a friend, so I thought we were going to be adding a second to the mix.
It's crazy, and Tony's a big Tottenham fan too.
Oh, okay.
It's
Hotspurs,
crazy.
Let's go.
A lot of Tottenham fans in the U.S. Wait, so Andy, rank your sports in order of like favorite.
I feel like it's morphing a bit. I mean, I'm typical football, baseball, basketball. Those can kind of interchange based on which of my favorite teams are doing well. The Oakland A's, unfortunately, are shit. So
baseball's always last.
Baseball is suddenly dropping in my tiers. Warriors being very good for a while. Basketball is climbing. Football is just always going to be there. But then next it would have to be soccer.
Soccer's four.
NHL, not even on the list.
Yeah.
Amen.
We're going PBA after that. Bowling. Cornhole leagues on
there you
ESPN.
go.
The Ocho.
Yeah, ACA, baby.
Yep.
American Cornhole Association. Shout out. ESPN.
So yeah, definitely about number 4 on the rankings, I would say.
Nice.
All
Yeah.
right.
It's
All
on
right,
the
why
list.
don't we jump over to our rules real quick?
Yeah, recap us, Torn, because I didn't know I won.
Do we even still have that transition?
No, I don't have it set up, so no. We're staying here.
All
No
right.
more
So
transition.
so just recapping the rules. If we have
I
any
have
mention of
I have the old rule board right here. This is the old one.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. So we'll go over to start the show. We'll go over the fantasy and pick'em league we're in. We'll look at last week's Premier League. We would look at prop bets. We don't have any. But then throughout the show, any mention of American player, we'll drink as a group. If we do some trivia at some point, if we miss the question, we'll drink. Any sort of technical difficulty as we're figuring all this shit out, drink. I think we'll skip the player Battleship this time. But any sort of interruption or a siren, finish your drink or take a shot. So that's the big one we'll watch out for. So jumping off to start the show, checking in our Pick'em League. It's been a long time since we played back in November. So first week back in Pick'ems, unfortunately.
Am I last?
Some people got to put their picks in.
Oh.
Wait. You kind of cut out. Did someone else forget to put their picks in, or just me?
Just you.
Fuck.
That's a drink for sure.
That's
a good
like,
drink.
oh man,
so
that hurts
Austin
in the long-term standings too.
Also in last place with a score of 40. I finished in third with a score of 140. One of my better weeks. Still managed to only finish third though, because the guys we're playing with are insane.
Shit, I'm
fantasy, however, Austin's revenge. First place in the league, 70 points on the week. I finished third with 56, so I'll join you drinking.
And you know why?
checking
Is
out
because
cards.
we had unlimited transfers, so I was able to get rid of my injured team and like start fresh. So I was able to actually field a roster.
Yeah, I did. So I did the same thing, and then one of the main upgrades I made was to bring back Reece James into the squad, and of course he goes and gets hurt during the first game back. So I was right back where I started. Needed to change my whole team out again.
So Andy,
I think I had 2 players.
Andy, get this.
Players.
This is how stupid our fantasy soccer is. You're only allowed 1 transfer per week. So imagine fantasy football, and you only get 1 move a week.
1 move.
But there's injuries, just like football. Maybe not as many, but there's a lot. But I was getting an injury almost every week, and I couldn't keep up with my transfers. It's so stupid. So
yeah, and even harder is with the Fantasy Premier League, you only get 4 bench slots, and one of them has to be a goalie. So it isn't like fantasy NFL where it's like, oh, I got 6 guys on the bench I could throw in, or it's like, I don't want to keep an extra goalie, I'll keep an extra forward or whatever. It's like you have to have a goalie who's never gonna fucking play, and then you're left with only 3 guys. So if like 2, 3 of your guys get injured or whatever, get a red card, you're in trouble, and you can only change out like 1 or 2 guys max. So
this is probably a dangerous rabbit hole, but do you have defensemen on your rosters?
yeah, you basically
do they get points by like tackles or what? How do they score points?
Clean sheets, minutes played,
goals and assists.
There's a few other ways. You get minus points if you get cards, I think. And
But
you
yeah.
have to have a certain number of each position. So you have to have like
Makes sense.
whatever it is, 5 defensemen, 5 midfielders or something, and 3 forwards, something like that.
Yeah.
So they force you to go that route. But yeah, it's real tough if you get in a pickle, get in a pinch.
But I won this week. Let's go.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Currently in 3rd place, but creeping up on Tony in 2nd. Only 30 points behind, so making a run at it. I won't talk about what place I'm in.
Yeah, we won't. Don't ask, don't tell, right? All right. Torn, what did you have first scheduled? Was it the U.S. soccer?
Yeah, so I think we got to start off with that. So
I think so too.
First episode back for the World Cup, we thought we'd just be talking about the awesome final of the World Cup and all the awesome games in the knockout stage, but a little bit upstaging going on by Team USA Soccer. So
it's some major drama. Major drama.
It is probably the biggest drama, I think, of any of the World Cup teams. There was some drama in some of the teams, but I think this might have eclipsed all the other teams to become the major soccer story, internationally at least. So, why don't you give us a rundown of what's going on with that, Austin?
Okay, so I'll try to get the timeline right, but to sum it up, after the World Cup, clearly there were some frustrations with both sides about Giovanni Reyna and his practice, his effort, and allegedly the coach told him, hey, you're going to have a limited role, like, be prepared for that, basically. And he heard that and was like, well, fuck that. Why am I going to try hard in practice if I'm not going to play? And the coach was like, he's got a bad attitude, threatened to send him home, and alluded to it in an interview and talked about bad sportsmanship, bad whatever. And Giovanni Reyna's mom heard this and released information that the coach assaulted his now wife when they were dating back in college on a drunken night. And the coach released a statement, a very carefully crafted statement, if I might add, to get ahead of this. I jumped it a little bit. U.S. Soccer said, hey, we have an investigation underway. Just being transparent about it. We'll give everyone the details when the investigation is complete.
Yeah, with very vague details. They just said there's an investigation and Berhalter isn't coaching. And that was kind of all that was said, right?
Yes, and Berhalter releases a statement to get ahead of it, to basically explain what I just told you about that assault back in college with his now wife.
Of 25 years.
Of 25 years, yes.
With 4 kids.
And it was, like I said, carefully crafted and definitely was not done by himself. But basically saying that he kicked his wife when they were drinking at a bar because there was a heated exchange or whatever. And according to the statement, I can pull it up here, but he basically was like, you know, I did this, it was wrong. I immediately talked to my family and friends and told everyone to keep it out in the open and just to better myself and work on things and blah blah blah. So yeah, that happened, and then
he even
could.
said he went to therapy, I believe, right? And
he did say that.
Here, you guys carry on. I gotta take a call real quick. I'll be right back.
He's saying all the right things, right? So he's saying he went to therapy.
Right.
I think the timeline is they actually did break up for a while, got back together at some point, and then eventually got married. And now 25 years later, all of this comes up to the surface, basically. So it just absolutely crazy timing, I would say. And I think there's a lot of different angles to come at this from. But
right.
I guess first off, Andy, somebody that doesn't watch a lot of soccer, but obviously watched a lot of the World Cup, obviously cares about U.S. sports in general. What were your first thoughts hearing anything about this in regards to the coach?
So, I definitely looked into this, read into it. Do I have an opinion on the coach or how good he is of a coach? I have no clue, to be honest. But I definitely looked into this and read the articles and got kind of my background on everything. Seemed like, obviously, this dude was scorned. He didn't get to play very much. Didn't like his role on the team. I saw that his dad was teammates with the coach dating back to maybe high school days. His wife and the coach's wife are friends. Have been friends since college. So why they decided to kind of bring this out in the open, if they were actually friends, is beyond me.
Yeah.
They're pissed off that their kid didn't get to play very much. It seems like some spoiled kid just complaining, whining, to be honest, and bad luck, real bad luck. But really, the coach got the boot, or essentially, maybe there were other reasons why. I don't know, but definitely some juicy gossip coming off.
Yeah. So the coach is I guess temporarily suspended, right? So he hasn't officially been fired or anything, but he's not allowed to coach during the ongoing investigation. Which, read into that whatever you want, but
for real,
I think this is the epitome of the classic soccer mom, helicopter parent, I'm going to control my child's destiny American dream, essentially. This is it to the highest degree possible. It's, you're going to do what to my kid? Well, I know all this information. I'm going to do everything I can because this is bullshit. And it's just, I can't even believe it. To be at this level of soccer,
something this minor. The fact that it's gotten this much traction, though, it's like this should have just been stomped out because it really doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But
seriously?
Spousal abuse, it's a thing. It's not good. It happens a lot. But this just seems pretty minor. I mean, they got married. They're still married together, so obviously they were able to get past it. The fact that these people would kind of bring it back up if they were actually friends. I don't know if I'd be friends with them anymore if they're going to go that low to kind of bring this up.
Oh yeah, there's not a chance they're friends. To be honest, I think they probably weren't friends. I don't know the whole background story there, but I have a feeling there was probably some dramas in the past that were going on. There has been dysfunction in the USA team in the past, and I was actually talking with Austin about this the other day. But the '98 World Cup team was actually a complete disaster, and there was a ton of drama in that one. The captain of the team actually slept with their best player's wife.
Now that's some juicy drama. This is
challenging the '98 team in terms of drama. But regardless, we were talking about this during the World Cup, me and Asa, when we had been meeting and chatting. It was just like, there's something going on there, right? There's a reason he's not playing. We kept hearing these stories for why it wasn't happening, what's going on. And you just knew there was something more in the background the whole time. Like
let me ask you this.
Going on, and it was just everything was just being dodged and avoided and worded in very unique ways. And I'm really not surprised to hear something more to the story. I guess what I'm surprised with is to hear exactly what happened. To hear that it's this like tattletale soccer mom bullshit that's going on. It's just like
the ultimate helicopter mom.
I can't.
Exactly.
I can't believe this is what it came down to, and I can't believe you would let if your son had an opportunity to be on the national team, that's what you stooped down to do.
His dad was on the team. His dad was on the team in
the club team. You're playing in the World Cup. Do whatever is best for the country. You know, like
right.
I can't believe it. So.
This is something that should be going on like a high school team or like maybe a college team. I don't even know about college level, but not World Cup. I mean, this should have just got stamped out right away, which kind of makes me feel that there are other kind of subliminal texts that into the coach where maybe other people want him out too. So I don't know.
For sure.
But let me ask you this: should he have played more in the World Cup?
100%. 1,000%.
Okay.
If you were to put all of our players into like a free agent pool for other teams to draft them, say, Reyna would be like the 3rd or 4th pick.
Oh shit.
So
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
he should.
He should even be. You could even say he'd be the number 1 just because he's so young and has so much potential.
Yeah.
You know, if you're drafting for the future, so.
And
the story evolved, right? The story started where it was like, oh, he's coming off an injury. You know, he didn't look that good when he played, like he was fully healed. Like, that's what we first heard for a lot of this was like, you know, we're taking it easy on him because we don't really know if he's back fully, da-da-da-da. Then that story sort of morphed, and it was like, oh, he didn't try that hard, and so now, you know, the coach didn't like that. And the story just keeps sort of morphing.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
I don't know what the real truth is, but I heard that the coach, from the coach, he basically said that, like, I told him he was going to have a limited role with the team. And, like, paraphrasing, but, like, be cool with it. Like prepare yourself. You're going to have a limited role.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's like that is horrible coaching because you immediately are just shutting down all his hopes and dreams. Why not be like, hey, I need this out of you in order to get more playing time. I need you to play this way. I need you to like you should be able to incorporate your best players. And if you're just gonna like shut him out from the get-go, like, yeah, he didn't react well to it, but like, what's he supposed to do? Be like, why did you pick me then on the team? Like, why am I here?
Exactly. And even if you're not gonna start, it's like I see this. I feel like I see this with NFL coaches all the time. It's like, even if a guy isn't gonna start, they're going to play some sort of crucial role at some point, and you sort of motivate them and talk to them in that way. It's like, you're going to play a huge part of this.
Yeah.
You might not be starting, but you're going to be critical and integral to this. And just the way that he's talked about it, the way it's been described, whether he's talking to the media or this statement, it doesn't strike me as good coaching, which is a whole nother discussion, which we can talk about, right? But whether or not he's the right coach for the team. But I agree with you 100%. I don't think it was the right way to approach the situation, period.
Yeah, I totally want him fired, but not because of this. Not because of this. It's like that,
exactly.
that say, it's like, not like this, you know, like Matrix style, like not like this. Like that's kind of how I look at it.
This.
Not like this.
Oh,
it's like,
nice.
yeah, I want him out, but like not like this. But Torrin, you mentioned that the '98 team. So I listened to that podcast, American
Oh,
Fiasco.
did you? I haven't listened to it yet.
And I'll put it in the description of this video for like the 3 listeners that will listen to this, because I highly recommend this podcast. It's like 9 episodes. It could be 5 is my only critique of it, but it's really, really good. It's the guy from Men in Blazers, and he interviews all the guys from the '98 team, including the coach, who is now the coach of the Cal Poly men's soccer team.
Oh shit!
He's like, I'm interviewing the coach here in his office in San Luis Obispo, and I was like, what?
Of course.
Shout out you, Mustang.
That's the coach we would go for, of course.
I guess he's been there for like 12 years or something. So yeah, he's our alma mater's soccer coach now. But they basically had all this drama. Torrin mentioned it with the captain sleeping with Eric Winalda's wife, and then he kicked him off the team after that. And all of the players, including Eric Winalda, was like pissed about it. Like, no, we want him on the team. He's one of our best players. Like, all that shit we can fight off the field, but on the field we need him. He's one of our best players. And it was like that team fractured at that point, and there were all these different
I actually
things.
have the list here. I'll read off all the shit that happened with that team.
Go for it. Yeah.
So number one was what Austin just said. So Hark's sleeping with Winalda's wife, and as you just said, even Winalda going to coach and said he needs to be on the team. If I'm okay with it, you need to be okay with it. And the coach said, hell no, I'm not okay with that, and left him off the team. Jeff Agus, shout out. I actually played with him once at a soccer camp. But,
no way.
Yeah, he showed up. I forget how old I was, but I went to a soccer camp at Cal, and he showed up one of the days. Him and somebody else that played on the U.S. team. Anyway, I got to play with him one time, but
Nice.
he was left off the team after helping them qualify, like played in intense ass games. He was expecting to be, at least be on the team, maybe not play, right, but be part of the team, and he got left off. They changed the formation when they go into, I think it was the last qualifying game, or friendly game before it. They changed their formation, won that game, go into the tournament having played this formation that nobody's ever played. Terrible coaching. Talk about terrible coaching right there. Just ridiculous. The coach. So everyone's going to the World Cup. The World Cup's in Paris in '98. Everyone wants to, going to the World Cup is like, obviously it's really important and you want to play well, but it's also an experience that like you want to experience everything it has to offer, right? So they want to be, near Paris, near where all the, other teams are and everything. And he ends up putting them in some middle of nowhere city in France, an hour from like the closest big city. Everyone hates the coach for it. They can't do anything except hang out with each other. Everybody just wants to kill each other by the end of it. So another terrible coaching decision.
Wow.
The coach tries to change the formation after they get killed in the first game, and then completely destroys the team at that point. What else happened? We had the veteran Marcel Balboa was not even given a minute. So this guy had kind of like given his whole career playing for Team USA, finally expected to have at least some sort of playing time. Doesn't get a minute until like the last 5 minutes of the last game when they know they're eliminated. So he's pissed.
I've been trying to drink
Everyone
every
on the
name you
team
say.
hates the coach. Everyone hates each other. So to be honest, as a team, I think this one still wasn't as dysfunctional.
Wait, Torrin, you missed one. You missed one. There was one in the podcast so they talk about all these things you mentioned. You know a lot, but
Yeah.
what also happened is they brought in this guy from like a French province to take Jeff Agus's spot. He was supposed to. He was gonna replace Jeff Agus, and you know what the coach decided to do? Leading up to the World Cup, he decided to room this guy with Agus.
That's right.
So they were roommates, and this guy didn't have his U.S. citizenship, and he needed to get it 3 weeks before the World Cup started. Jeff Agus helped him with his citizenship test.
Yeah,
and
I don't think he spoke English.
He spoke no English, and he was trying to help him like learn a few sentences and like test for and Jeff Agu's like, what a great guy. If he helps it doesn't help him at all. This guy doesn't get his citizenship. He doesn't take your spot on the team. And like, I would not have been that nice about it. I would have been like, man, fuck this. This is bullshit.
You and everybody else, Austin.
Like, yeah.
Dude, it's so crazy to me because like this sort of drama. So that sort of drama that we're talking about there, it's like, you know, this just exactly what we were just saying about with the Reyna shit. It's like that sounds like high school or like college shit. You know, like you were saying, Andy. And it's like it's funny because there's a lot of drama going on, obviously, with the Reyna stuff and other things, but it feels like the amount of drama has kind of lowered if you compare it to all the shit that was going on back then in the 90s, the 80s, and the 90s.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more media and like spotlights on everything. There's so much less shit that kind of goes, you know, under the table, under the rug, and there's just people can't get away with all this bullshit that they do. Like,
the podcast.
If Berhalter had done this shit that guy did in '98, that fool would have been fired before the World Cup.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, times have changed a lot, especially with social media.
But the cool thing about this podcast, Torn, you got to listen to it, is because you get to hear the coach's perspective and then the player's perspective and back and forth. And the coach sometimes makes some good points and is like, hey, yeah, this is partly on the players. I would say it was probably like 30% on the players, 70% on the coach. But the players were getting more and more pissed off at him, so they were acting more and more childish. And
more and more like, there was one point where I think a player quoted like, I don't give a fuck anymore about the World Cup. I'm playing for my own career here.
Yeah, no, he said that to the team. Yeah. And then Alexi Lawless was like, yeah, I was pretty much a dick towards the end of it. Oh man. So yeah, it was bad.
He got the biggest career out of anybody, right?
He probably had well, he's still like a big face and
he's
name
got the biggest
for the
post
game.
Career for sure.
Yeah. But his career kind of peaked. 98 was like the end of it for him. And there were a couple of younger guys that like kept going, but yeah, it was wild. It was a roller coaster because they were trying to put U.S. soccer on the map, and they had just beaten Argentina and Brazil, and leading up to the World Cup. So they were like, we can fucking do this. Like, we're coming. Like, let's go. And then it was just, they didn't win a single game in the World Cup. They finished absolute dead last. And yeah, there was all that dysfunction. It was partly their own fault. I mean, sleeping with your best friend's wife is never gonna no excuse for that.
That's a John Terry move if I've ever heard of one.
Dude, John Terry, exactly. But did they kick John Terry off the team? I don't think so.
That's a drink for a reference.
He was still the captain. You know, it's like drink.
Well, and the coach talked about it. He's like, I made the decision to get Harks off the team, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to make Eric Winalda's family feel bad. I didn't want to get it personal, so I kept my lips shut for 12 years. He didn't talk about it. Eric Winalda let it slip when John Terry did it to his team, and he was like, well, a similar thing happened when we were playing. He said this on the air, and he used the term allegedly when John Harks allegedly slept with my wife and like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, let's just say I'm divorced now and I lost his number. So yeah.
Allegedly.
He said that on air. And I was like, oh my God, dude. Fuck. I can't imagine. But yeah, man, it's like the Kardashians.
Yeah, so my question to you guys then is, where do you think it all goes from here? So the current place we're at right now is Berhalter suspended with the ongoing suspension. He's not technically fired yet. Where do you think this kind of ends up going at the end of this? However long it takes. Takes a month, takes 6 months, who knows? But where do you think we end up?
I don't think that this is a fireable offense, to be honest. But, like I said, there's probably other underlying factors that went into this. So I'm not sure. Sounds like other people want him out too. So
you hit the nail on the head. I don't think I agree with everything you said, but it seems like we don't know everything that's going on. We probably know very little, actually. But if we are upset with how he coached, I would be curious to know how other players, how other people in U.S. soccer thought he coached. Because I feel like he handled a lot of things poorly. And it seems like there's a lot of smoke. So this could be a nice excuse for them to just be like, hey, we're cutting ties. We don't have to. It's not an excuse, I guess, but like be like, hey, you know what? There's just too much going on. We want to get ready for the next World Cup. You're too hot right now. We don't even want to deal with it. We want to focus on like moving forward and just cutting ties. That's what I think will probably happen. Hopefully, because I think he's a shit coach, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's what I'm curious about is because I agree with you 100%. Keeping this whole situation out of it, I think he needs to be gone. I think we need a new direction. We need a new coach, new leader, whatever you want to call it. So I'm really curious how this develops, though, because I agree as well that this shouldn't be a fireable offense. But how does USA Soccer sort of navigate this situation where it's like, hey, we want to get rid of him. We want to get a new coach. We can't make it look like it's part of this whole thing, and I don't know how you could get rid of him without it looking like it's part of this. If he's really not, you
have to wait. You just have to be patient. You have to be patient. You have to be like, the investigation finished. We've discovered nothing that we deem should be fireable offense or a finable offense, whatever.
Right.
And then a few months later, we have a new coach. I think it's got to be something like that.
Yeah, probably.
But we'll see.
All right. And then one time, let's all drink for Gio Reyna's bitch-ass parents.
I know. I feel bad for Reyna. I bet he's not stoked his mom did that.
He didn't want any of this shit, man.
Like, come on, Mom. I'm a grown man now, Mom. Come on.
He probably looks so bad and it's just like, God damn it.
He's like, God damn it. I know. Fuck.
This is the last time I ever tell you guys anything.
Nah, she knew that.
Gio, I have been there. Let me tell you that. I have been there.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Oh, my mom shit.
Dude. But Torn, you gotta listen to the podcast. It's really good. Okay. It's really well done. It's just shocking, some of the decisions that U.S. Soccer made, and you could just tell, like, the roller coaster of highs and lows of U.S. soccer in the 90s, and them just trying to establish being a soccer country, and us just not having anything in place. And like the coach, Steve Sampson, Cal Poly coach, he had like no experience, and they made him the coach just because
we're America.
He was around. He was the he was basically like
he coached the under 12 team. Let's make him the coach.
No, he was the like whatever the equivalent of like an executive assistant is to the head coach, kind of like the desk job type of guy. And then when that coach left, he became the interim, and he actually implemented a lot of good things and like empowered the players, and they liked him at the beginning because he was more free flowing and let them express themselves more.
A player's coach.
Exactly, and the players responded to it, and they played really well for him in the interim. So they're like, "Hey, let's keep him." And then I think his inexperience showed as time went on. So,
yeah. I'll check it out. It's on my list. I've got a lot of podcasts to catch up on, but I'll work it in.
Yeah, it's 9 episodes. They're all like 25 minutes each.
Oh, okay.
So it's easy. It's like it's a few hours and you're done.
Yeah, this isn't like a hardcore. It's like one hardcore history episode right there.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like it's like a one documentary episode just chopped up into 25-minute episodes.
All right. Well, I think we touched on USA soccer drama enough. The big thing we haven't talked about, I think the last time we met was the
World Cup.
One of the quarterfinal games? Semifinal?
Yeah. Semis, yeah.
World Cup, baby. How about that final?
Amazing,
That
absolutely
was
amazing. I
that was fantastic.
I can't think of a better finish to a World Cup that I've been watching. Uh,
Seriously, yeah. Maybe so in terms of drama, I would say the '06 Italy France final obviously went to penalties.
right,
It was intense as hell, but this game kind of had everything. It had one team dominating, one team coming back and dominating, more
exactly.
goals. It had more action. It just that one felt thinking back on the '06 final, it felt much more tight and kind of like tactical and defensive, and this one just felt more like real soccer.
It
Like
was more
it was
open. It was more free
yeah, it was like
flowing. It
this
was
is
back and forth. They were evenly matched teams,
yeah.
and yeah, the game was more exciting. I feel like just because it goes to penalty kicks doesn't mean it's more exciting. Like the game itself wasn't as good, I think,
Yeah,
as this game.
take the penalty kicks out of it, just all the way through
Yeah,
extra time. That was just, it was awesome.
yeah.
I loved it.
That Mbappe goal. So I think I told you we were sitting right behind a table. We watched it at a soccer pub in San Diego, and we had a table of Argentinians in front of us, and they were just fucking living and dying by every fucking kick. And by halftime, I'm like rooting with them, and I'm like all in for Argentina, and
Come
we're like
on!
we're high fiving after they score and all this shit. Like we're super into it, and then Mbappe scored that goal off the volley, and I was just like, oh my god! And I
Holy
just like went
shit!
crazy, and I was just like, and the guy from Argentina turned around and looked at me like, dude, bro, I thought you were on our side. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, that goal was sick, dude. I don't know. I'm sorry. That was just so amazing. Oh my god, that was insane. And like it tied it up. It was just such a crazy fucking game. It was so cool. It was
It was
awesome.
such a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched it with a few buddies over at my friend's house. Obviously, so the game was at 7 a.m., right? So we were all up early drinking. I was with a whole group of people where everyone more or less was rooting for Argentina. So kind of the same boat you were in with your next door neighbor at the bar. So kind of like everyone's kind of up, excited that all of a sudden Mbappe just goes out of his mind for 3 minutes. And it's just like, oh my god! It just from that moment on, it was everything you could want from sort of an entertainment factor, right? The like edge of your seat movie you go see in theaters, the whatever it is, the
Yeah.
stunt double that's gonna go jump across the Grand Canyon, whatever it is, like this was that adrenaline rush of a game that you get only a few times ever in a final. It can happen in the game, it can happen in the regular season, but for it to happen in the final of the World Cup, to have a game like that was just absolutely incredible. It was my favorite World Cup moment that I've watched live after Italy winning in '06.
Yeah.
This was it. It was just amazing. Everything about it. It was just everything you could ask for. People trying their hardest. One of my most favorite moments was sometime in overtime. I forget what minute, but Varane on France, so playing center back, is playing just as hard as he's ever played in his life. And there's some moment where like there's a ball going out of bounds, and he literally his body just like gives up on him, and he just like kicks the ball out of bounds and just collapses outside of the field. I don't know if you remember seeing this. And I was like, that right there is the epitome of the World Cup. This guy tried so hard that he just fell over. He couldn't play anymore. And they subbed somebody in for him. He's just like, I can't play. I played as hard as I can, and I'm done. I was like, that moment right there is just the epitome of what this game is, what the World Cup means,
Yeah.
what it means to all these people. It was just, I loved it. I love the World Cup so much.
I know.
So
It sucks that it was in such a shitty place and
Yeah.
under such shitty circumstances. But it doesn't matter where it is. It's just such an event, and
Yeah.
everyone cares about it so much. And it's impossible not even if you don't love soccer, it's impossible not to get hooked on the gravity of the situation, the intensity of the games. I was at the gym and this old guy was in there next to me, and he's like, I don't even like soccer, and I'm into this right now. Like, why am I into this? And I was like, because the stakes are so fucking high, and these guys are just like going so hard. And yeah, it was. I can't remember what game it was. It wasn't even. It was like I think it was round of 16. I can't remember which game, but it was just. It was a really sick game, and yeah, we were both watching it on TV, and it was sick. And it's just that like moment where everything is raised, and it's just so much fun, dude. It's so much fun.
It's so amazing. Yeah. It's and in the every 4 years, just everything about it, it makes it carry so much more weight.
Yeah.
And watching the celebrations in Argentina after, I don't know how many clips and snippets you've seen out of Argentina, but it would have been so awesome to be there. That place was just going wild.
Yeah, crazy.
So wild. It was awesome.
Oh, wait, one more thing about that podcast that I was listening to. So they were talking about when they went down to South America and played Argentina. And they were talking about Diego Simeone was on the team.
Oh, when he was playing.
When he was playing, yeah. And how he was just trying to just bully them and talk shit to him in the tunnel before they walked out. And Eric Winalda said he grabbed him by the throat and pushed him against the wall, and basically was like, fuck you, you're not like pushing us around, like we're fucking here to, like, we're not backing down from you. And I was just like, dude, yes. And they went out and won 3-0. And
damn.
Like, yeah, this is why the team was so juiced for, like, they were like, we're coming. Like, they had an attitude like, we're fucking here. Like, we're ready to take on the world. Like, and it was, you got to listen to it. It was sick. But I was just like, dude, Eric Ronaldo, you're the fucking man, dude. Like,
that's
yes,
awesome.
Yes,
fuck that guy. I hate
Diego Simeone. He's such a bitch, dude. Fuck that guy.
He made a. Did we ever do our least favorite 11? Did we do that? Not
publicly, no.
Okay, yeah, but he's definitely in the running on that one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He's high up on the ratings on that one.
John Terry, you're also on that list.
Who's that?
John Terry.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, so a quick question for you, and Andy when he gets back. I'll be curious to hear from him as well. But if you were just to look at the World Cup as a whole, what do you think is your...
Andy, he's coming.
Yeah, he's coming back. What is your favorite moments overall from the World Cup? If you had to think of just the moments that stick out to you, memorable moments that you'll think about, 3 years from now.
Well, I got to start with my team, our team, because I cared most about the U.S. And it was the almost anniversary of the Dempsey Dick goal. It was like almost like a Pulisic Dick goal, but it turned into like just kind of like not quite in the right spot, but close. That was a huge moment, and no pun intended. And yeah, that was awesome when that goal finally went in, because one of the issues that I have with the team is our struggle to score goals, and that was such a big goal. We needed it so badly, and he just put his body on the line and scored it, and it was just like, oh, yes, like a relief. And we needed it so badly. So that one's definitely number one for me. If I went non-US, probably, I can't really think of anything above the final, because the final just as a whole was so awesome. I mentioned the Mbappe goal. Just that whole game, that whole second half was just so much fun.
I don't want to let myself sort of forget it, because the further you get away from moments, you can kind of be like, oh yeah, that happened, but it's still somewhat fresh, right? Whatever it is, a month later from whenever it happened, not even. That was I can't overstate just how intense and exciting that game was. Like, I don't want to forget that, 4 years from now or 20 years from now. Like, to get that game in the final is so memorable. And I don't want to let myself ever sort of forget that that's what it was like in that game. That moment, it was crazy. Yeah. I was screaming, jumping around. I'm sure there's videos of me out there. People fucking look at me doing somersaults in the fucking living room. It was wild. It was so awesome. But I definitely had a few other moments. I think the Argentina-Netherlands game, where Netherlands came back and scored those 2
Netherlands
goals.
was so close to winning that game. And if you think about it, how things could have changed,
That was a pretty crazy game. That game was awesome. What else am I going to remember from the World Cup? I'm going to remember Japan. I'm going to remember Japan kind of being an upset there.
Dude, my boys.
Yep. Morocco
for sure.
Definitely punching above their weight. Feel bad for Portugal. Obviously, we had money on the line there, but
yeah. Dude, I feel bad for Lukaku. That one still stings.
Yeah.
Like, I feel so bad for that dude.
That one hurts.
That poor guy. He's just he obviously wasn't in form, and like a couple of them weren't his fault. But he should have scored. He should have scored at least one that a player like of his quality always finishes, and it's just such a bummer that it didn't happen for him. I feel really bad. So that one on a negative note, I'm gonna remember that. But I'm also gonna remember individual performances like Musiala. Seeing him, I'm just like, dude, this guy is gonna be a fucking problem for the next 4 to 6 years. Like, he is so good. I think he really shined to me.
I think there's a few guys that stick out. I think we talked about it when we kind of did our revamped team of the tournament when we got to the quarters or whatever. Right, we went through and did that exercise. But Chouameni stood out.
One
of the guys.
I really liked McAllister on Argentina. I thought he shined. What's his name? Enzo Fernandez got the big deal, but I thought McAllister was way better. And
they play different positions. I think it was really good.
I guess I was more impressed with McAllister, and it's like, hey, shocker, Brighton's doing really well. He's on the team. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I just didn't connect those dots leading up to the tournament.
It's funny because I think of him sort of as the same type of, not the same exact type of player, but they kind of look similar, and they're kind of similar levels of like notoriety as him and Trossard on Belgium.
For sure. Yeah.
It's like the perfect. That's the type of player they go and get, and they're good. They're great players.
Yes. And that's why Brighton's playing so well. And then Brighton's going to go out, and some big club is going to overspend for those guys, and they're not going to play on their team. Can you believe
Chelsea spent $60 million on Cucurella? Insane, man.
Yeah, and he's fine. He's fine, but I mean that's the classic Chelsea move. Like overspend and then loan him out somewhere because there's no room on the roster for him. Wait, can we talk about something real quick? Because after the World Cup, Pulisic has been in the Chelsea lineup since the World Cup, and then he got hurt today, and I was like, no.
I saw that he left. Like, I watched the highlights, and it didn't show the injury or whatever. So what happened?
So, no, they did show it on the highlights because I saw the highlights. They just didn't show him being subbed. It was that
he fell over, but they didn't show him like getting up or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It was on that play though, and and they lost Sterling like 15 minutes before that. So brutal for Chelsea, but. Yeah, it was a bummer for Pulisic because he was finally getting play and he was coming off a good World Cup. Hopefully it's not serious. Sometimes when you do that, I mean, I think everyone's done it who's played soccer where you kick the ball at the same time and like you kind of get that like hyperextension. It hurts like hell, but it's knock on wood, hopefully no ligament damage. But I tried to look up any injury updates, and if there are any, they're not saying anything. they're just hopeful it's nothing serious. That's all I could find.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be like, it'll be like 4 to 8 weeks. You know, they'll say some shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
2 to 8 weeks. It's like, what does that mean? You know, doesn't tell us anything.
I had a question for you about the World Cup.
Okay. Yeah.
So obviously Argentina won, but if you ask me, they were far from the best team, in my opinion.
Okay.
Even with how they played, I don't think they played
Yeah.
like the best team, but it's okay. You don't need to be the best team every game to win. You just need to get through.
You can play like the best team in that game, but not be the best team.
So yeah, not based on how they finished, but who do you think were the best teams in the World Cup? Like if you had to make a top 5, say. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but
I think I don't know the order here, but obviously I think France was the most skilled team, especially considering the injuries that they endured.
insane.
The players they didn't have to still be as good as they are.
Stupid.
That tells you everything you need to know right there. It was just to have players like Giroud and whoever, you know, stepping up. Just they have to be part of that list. To be honest, Morocco has some good players, but I felt like it was a little bit fluky.
For sure.
They're not a complete fluke, I would say, right? But they got a little bit of luck.
They overachieved.
I mean, I feel like you have to throw Argentina into it. I think England could have been in the final if they didn't play France. They could have beat Morocco. They could have beat Croatia. They could have beat Argentina. Like England, I feel really bad for Harry Kane. I feel really bad for England.
I hate to say it, but I think England and Brazil were the 2 best teams.
Brazil has skill, but I don't think they're a good team.
But they were playing really well until that last game.
They were playing really good offense.
Yeah, they looked. Excuse me, I probably have a bunch of drinks lined up, but they looked a little overconfident. If I just
exactly. That's so I didn't. Yeah, they probably had the most, maybe besides France, the most skill of players.
They always do.
That was evident.
But I didn't like how they played as a team per se. Like I didn't think they were. I don't know. Maybe I'm more of the traditional 4-4-2. You play solid from front to back, from back to front type of team.
But I thought this was their closest version of that team. This was the best I think they've been
I would
as
agree
a
with
team
that.
in years.
I would agree with that. Yeah, no, I think you're spot on there. I think compared to like the last World Cup and stuff, the one where they lost 7-1 against Germany, I think it was a better team, and I think they still lacked some of that positional, tactical wherewithal that they needed.
Yeah.
And I think it said everything when the coach left right away. It's like they're still missing something. But I think they could be part of that conversation. I think they would be.
Yeah.
I think if you had to give me 5, I'd probably say Brazil, England, France, Argentina, and that 5th one's tough. Portugal is part of that conversation. I don't think Netherlands is a perfect example. They
were the
didn't
opposite.
have all the skill, but they played better as a team. The opposite of Brazil.
You, dude? So Gakpo, their forward, is going to Liverpool now.
Is he? Is
Yes.
that official?
Yes.
Oh shit!
He was in the stands watching this weekend. I watched the Liverpool game. But
yeah, because the transfer window is open. What is it? The 15th?
Yeah, Jan 15th. Yeah, next week.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
legit
is he going to start? I know that what's his face, the Uruguayan Darwin Nunez has been struggling, and you can see it. And I wonder if this is like, hey, this fool's not cutting it. Bring in this other guy. Let's see if he can deliver.
You better step up.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, but yeah.
So Andy, we were going through. Austin asked me what I thought my top 5 teams were, but before that, I had asked just what was your favorite moments from the World Cup. So I was curious to hear what you had to say. Just all the games you watched, regardless of country. What stood out to you that you'll remember? 2, 3, 4 years from now from the World Cup.
Okay, there were a couple moments. As a USA fan, that first USA goal against Wales, I thought that was pretty sick. That was a pretty dope moment. Then definitely the Argentina and Netherlands game that got incredibly heated. All the yellow cards.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then, oh my god, the when the guy had that slide tackle, it was a blatant yellow card, and then he kicked the ball into the Netherlands bench. It was like, oh shit, let's go. But there was another game though where I think a fight almost broke out. That game, a fight almost broke out, and then there was another one that I can't remember, but very heated. So very tense play, obviously World Cup. Really cool seeing Messi win it. And I mean, you guys probably already talked about it, but just that final game was one of the best soccer games I think I've ever seen.
We touched on that. And exactly what you said. Just it's one of the, especially for that to happen in the final, it's just one of the most epic games ever.
No, I'm always praying for penalty kicks. And the fact that it was going into extra time, Argentina scored first, right?
Yeah.
And then it's oh shit. I mean, this is a great finish. It's been a great game, but it'd be really cool for penalty kicks. And then France scores, and it was just yeah, we're still in for penalty kicks. It was pretty sick.
Dude.
Another big moment. So Cristiano Ronaldo getting benched, and the guy that came in and played for him with the hat trick.
Yeah, dude, what a fucking performance.
Awesome. Right? I mean, if anybody is going to take his spot, it's ooh, yeah, that was a pretty good performance. So why hasn't he been playing? So I think he didn't start any other game, and that guy played.
My favorite moment was when I think he scored the second goal. They cut to Ronaldo on the bench, and he just had this face like he wasn't celebrating at all. He was just fuck.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you got to feel bad for him because he was really emotional when they got eliminated. Because that was the last World Cup he'll play in.
Yeah. I mean, that's the last one Messi will play in too, probably.
True.
So
he got it though.
It was.
We'll see.
There's no way, dude. He's already moving to the MLS. It's done.
I could see him just being on the team.
He's already into retirement.
Yeah. Is he moving to the retirement home, MLS?
He is. Well, I don't know if it's official, but
I don't think it's maybe another year or two.
All signs point to it's already in the works.
Soon.
Which I don't understand why the MLS does that.
They want to bring in big names.
But they bring in old ass big names. And it's why not just focus on getting better players, young good players. Spend money. They overspend on someone like that. I really wonder if it's worth it to overspend on a aging veteran than to just spend on a young talent that is hey, this player's sick. We'll pay half.
The young talent doesn't want to do it though. I feel like.
Well, if you paid him the same as you paid Messi, or more than the other guy.
Yeah, but then you're trying it on somebody that
I'm trying to think of an example of anybody. Who was it? Who was the Italian guy?
Bernadeschi.
Giovinco went. Yeah, that was a good one. He kind of had injury problems, so that was a bummer. But yeah, that's what I would do if I was an MLS team. But what do I know?
Yeah.
The thing is, MLS doesn't bring in as much. But look at how much the top guys are getting paid internationally.
Yeah.
MLS doesn't bring in as much money to pay those guys that much. They just want to get somebody who's going to bring in people to the stands,
Yeah, it's the American way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, how do we get ratings up?
Got to bring the big names. Got to bring the Ibrahimoviches, the Kakas.
All right. Well, I wasn't prepared this week for trivia, but I have one trivia question that ties into the World Cup. So
All
if
right.
you were watching the World Cup, you know this answer. But who is the all-time leading scorer for France?
Giroud.
Yeah, didn't he?
Yeah, he passed it.
Yeah.
He passed Henri's
Olivier
record, right?
Giroud. So you guys got it. I drink.
And Thierry Henry is coaching where?
Belgium.
Belgium. That's
Is he
right.
now? Okay. Yeah, he was coaching Montreal for a minute, right? And then he got fired, I think.
He was helping out Belgium this year. I remember because I saw him like consoling, unless he was coaching the opposite team and he was consoling Lukaku anyways.
No, I think he might be right. Yeah, I think he might be right. I think he was assistant coach there or something.
But it's just crazy because Olivier Giroud is like just the forgotten star. You know what I mean? Like he's like a B level
Right.
star that has A plus level stats and highlights.
hmm
It's crazy.
Yep. I mean, didn't he make all his PKs?
I don't know, but maybe.
Clutch. Another big moment. Sorry, just backtrack. Lukaku missing all those goals at the end.
That's what I said
Oh.
too. I was like,
Oh,
man, I'm not gonna forget it, but it's sad.
There were
It
like
was
3 opportunities.
really bummed me out.
I'm getting a beer refill. I'll be right back. But I have some trivia for you guys.
Oh, you got some? Okay, cool.
I do. I have some trivia for you for the World Cup. I sent a new Google chat to join to.
Oh, really? Are we expired? Oh,
Expired.
looks like we're expired. Yeah, I'll switch over to the new one. Yeah, so Andy, I said the same thing. I was like, on a negative note of something I'll remember is Lukaku, and it's just so sad.
It was cringe-worthy, man. I felt so bad for him. But also, it just
Hang on,
didn't seem
Andy.
like
Mute
the
your
effort.
your Google chat because there's an echo.
Gotcha.
There you
It
go.
just didn't seem like the effort was there for him, but you just felt so bad.
Felt so bad, and he definitely should have scored one. One was off the post that an inch to the side, and it would have been in.
Right.
And then another one, it like deflected right before it hit him, and it just like bounced off. And I don't think it was his fault. It was just unlucky mixed with being a little rusty. I just felt so bad for him, man. Oh,
There were a lot of blocked penalty kicks in this World Cup, I feel like. I was trying to recall a game that I saw, years ago, where it went into penalty kicks, and it went, like, through the whole roster. Everybody was scoring. Goalies scoring. And, like, that was one of the most exciting soccer experiences I think I've ever seen because it was
There was a
insane.
game recently I saw that. It was Italy against somebody. I think it was in the Euros maybe? I'm not sure.
Might have been, yeah.
I think it went to the 10th penalty maybe.
Oh my
like the
God.
10th on each team or something. It was crazy.
it's great when the goalies start taking penalty kicks.
Oh, I know. And they're not bad, too.
Yeah.
So I have the stats here. So there were 23 total penalties. So
Is that the most?
23 total penalties taken in the 2022 World Cup. 14 were scored, so it was a 61%.
Wow.
That's gotta be bad.
That's shockingly low.
It's pretty close to 50-50.
That's crazy. I feel like there
Is
were
that
also a
just,
lot
like,
of penalties.
Goalie play elevated or just
Yeah. There was that Croatian goalie. He saved a bunch.
he did?
Yeah, he was good. Japan
Yeah,
also didn't look
obviously.
like they were ready to take penalties.
Yeah, those were not.
Oh,
good
Andy, you
penalties.
mentioned the Netherlands Argentina game, which was awesome, by the way, and how close Argentina was to being out right there. Like,
Right,
and then it would have been just a completely different story.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wins
Right.
then? Is it just France runs over everybody? Or
I
what?
think
France
France does.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, France runs over everybody. All right, so some multiple choice trivia for you guys that I found online
I'm
that
ready.
we'll run through real quick. If you guys get it right, I'll drink. Get it wrong, you drink. Which club had 3 players starting in the World Cup final? Was it Tottenham Hotspur? Was it Real Madrid? Was it PSG? Or was it Atletico Madrid?
PSG has Mbappe and
Messi.
Messi.
Tottenham has Lloris and Romero.
Who's the third?
Real Madrid.
Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid. And Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin, this is you, man.
I know.
'Cause
I'm trying to think of the
rosters,
third.
But I want to say, like, I'm just going to guess. Don't tell me if I'm right or right. Let Austin guess. I'm going to say Real Madrid.
All right, Austin. So I'll give you a hint. So those are the 4 options for this question. There were actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clubs that had 2 players each that started.
I'm
One
trying to
club that-
remember where Rabiot is nowadays.
He's on Juventus.
Oh, okay. Because he used to be on PSG. I was like, I don't think he's still on PSG.
No.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. So the teams that didn't some of the teams that had 2 that aren't part of this list.
AC
Milan
Milan?
had 2.
Yeah.
Barcelona had 2. Juventus had 2.
These are players that were in the final.
Yeah.
That started.
I can't think of that third guy.
There's only 22 guys that start in the final. So
No. I'm like going through the whole roster here.
20 seconds.
Ron, no.
All right, so I gave you 2 from each of those teams, right? So Tottenham had at least Romero and Lloris.
Yeah.
Real Madrid had Chouameni and
Well, who's the right back for France? That's the only position I can't think of.
Koundé on Barcelona.
Uh,
PSG had Messi and
Mbappe. Yeah.
Atletico has Griezmann and DePaul.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit.
And
But
then
one of those teams has one more person that started.
I can't think of who it was because I'm thinking of Otamendi in the back. No. Wait, what about Tagliafico? Who does he play for?
I think he plays for Lyon now or somebody. He's one of the teams that's on a single.
Shit,
Did he start? No, he started at left back, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he
What
did.
about goalies?
Goalies are Tottenham for Lloris. He's on France, and then
Right.
Emiliano Martinez. I actually don't know what team he plays for.
Yeah, Tagliafico started.
Who is
All right,
it?
I'm
I
gonna
give
go
up.
ahead.
I drink.
I'm going to tell you guys, it was actually Atletico Madrid.
Ooh.
Of all those
who's the
club
third?
teams,
Who's the third?
the right back on Argentina is Molina, who
Ah.
you might not know.
Ah.
He plays for Atletico Madrid.
I did not know
Nice.
that.
What club team had the most players in the World Cup in general?
Ooh, that's a good
That's a
question.
good question.
I feel like I
Tottenham,
was thinking-
Tottenham had a lot. Tottenham had a lot of players.
Yeah. Club with the most players at the World Cup. We'll make a little trivia out of this, actually.
I'm gonna go Tottenham. I thought Tottenham,
Okay, yeah. So
like their whole team.
this is awesome. Okay. Damn, this is crazy. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 clubs with more than 10 players.
Wow.
There's only 4 clubs with 15 or more.
Was Tottenham one of them?
One of them you're not going to get because it's in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, the whole
But-
team is the national team.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, shit.
Actually, no,
Yeah,
it's the
it's the-
Qatar team. But okay, so the top 3 teams are. I'll give you some hints. They're each from a different league.
Okay.
They are obviously very notorious teams. It does not include PSG. Does not include any team from France.
Well,
Okay.
the fact that I said Tottenham like 7 times and you didn't say anything leads me to believe it's not Tottenham. So I'm going to guess Manchester United.
Just wrong. They had 13.
Damn, City? It was City?
Manchester City has 16 players.
And they didn't
Tottenham,
even
as you
have
said,
they didn't even have Mahrez play. They didn't have Haaland
Tottenham,
play.
yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Damn.
God, their team is so stacked.
Tottenham had 11 players.
Okay.
So there's 2 more teams that had more than 15 players.
And they're all in different leagues.
They're in a different league than Man City that you just said,
Okay.
and they're not in France.
Barcelona?
Barcelona was number 1 with 17 players. Pretty crazy. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. But
And they still like aren't that good for Barcelona's standards anyways. And then Bayern Munich would be the other choice.
Bayern Munich tied with Man City.
Yeah. They're always still.
All right, my next question for you guys.
Sorry, we're
Which
gonna
of-
drink.
Drink. Yeah. Which of these players did not score a goal in the knockout stages? Denzel Dumfries, Jordan Henderson,
Oh my god.
Pepe, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ooh,
Pepe scored a goal.
Pepe did
Pretty
score.
sure.
I remember the header, and Ronaldo came out and celebrated with him.
Ronaldo had to have gotten like a penalty kick.
No,
But-
but in the knockout stage, not in the group stage, because he didn't start that one where the guy got the. I'm gonna guess
wasn't-
Cristiano Ronaldo.
You are correct.
Oh, nice.
I will drink. All right, next question. Who was the only player to score 2 goals in 2 different games? Gonzalo Ramos, who filled in for Ronaldo. Olivier Giroud. Mbappe. Lionel Messi.
Ooh,
2 goals in 2 different games.
I'll let you
It's
go
either
first. Andy.
Giroud or Mbappe. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Giroud.
I'm gonna go with Mbappe.
It was Mbappe.
Nice.
Yeah, because he scored 2 in the final.
That's right.
Did he score 2? No, not against.
Did he win the Golden Boot?
He did. I
He
think.
won? Yeah, he did. Messi won the golden ball. He won the golden boot
Right.
with the hat trick in the final. It's crazy.
Insane.
Sick.
All right. Which team won a game where they only had 18% of possession?
Morocco.
Morocco.
The options are Morocco,
Oh, hey, you don't need to stop there.
Cameroon,
Shut it down.
Tunisia, or Japan.
We must be wrong.
Shut it down.
The correct answer is Japan against Spain.
Oh man, Morocco
Oh, my
was
God.
one
Actually,
of those.
that
It was
a-
close.
That was an interesting game. They scored like hella quick, Japan.
Dude, that Japanese team was awesome.
That was fun. That was exciting.
That was really awesome. Which team did not have a single shot in one of their games? So
USA.
They had a game where they didn't have a single shot.
That's a good guess. No, I remember I was
Sorry.
watching this game and they mentioned it, but I can't remember what it is now.
Is it Qatar? Is it Wales? Is it Costa Rica? Or is it USA?
I hate that USA's in there, and it's
I know,
possible
right?
that it could have been them.
It
No,
is very possible.
I think Qatar is the obvious choice.
I'll just go Costa Rica.
It was Costa Rica.
Nice.
How many Premier League clubs were represented in the final at Qatar?
Oh fuck.
Was
So
it
there's
a
4,
final.
5, 6, or 7 clubs?
Oh, just in the final?
In the final, and
I'm not
represented
gonna get this one.
represented in the final.
What does that mean, represented? They just had a player, right?
This means they had somebody on the team in the final.
Okay, I can think of one.
And
Two.
actually,
3, 4.
yeah, somebody on the team.
Probably, there's probably someone on the bench I'm not thinking of, but I'm gonna go with 4.
It was actually 6. It was Aston Villa, Brighton, McAllister.
Wait,
Liverpool,
who on Aston Villa?
Martinez, the goalie.
Oh, that's where he
Oh,
plays.
he's on Aston Villa. There you go.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City, and Man U.
That was a good one.
Nice.
Okay, a couple more questions.
Oh, more questions. All right, I gotta get another beer. Go for it.
Yeah. Which team conceded the first own goal in the tournament? If you guys were watching the games, was it Argentina, Germany, Morocco, or Portugal?
Germany.
Argentina.
It was Morocco.
No, we suck.
Only because I feel like I didn't watch the early 5 o'clock games, and I feel like I only watched one Germany game. Damn.
Yeah.
Which of these teams received the most yellow cards in the whole tournament?
Argentina.
It's either Argentina or Netherlands.
Was it Morocco?
All in that one game.
Was it France? Was it Netherlands? Was it Argentina?
Oh, Argentina.
Argentina.
It was Argentina.
Yeah.
Nice.
I will drink.
Yes.
Paredes had like
Yes.
8 of them.
Yes. Nobody missed a game, though. Isn't that amazing?
That is
Right?
pretty shocking, actually.
Which of these teams had a player who scored in all 3 of their group games? Every one of their group games they scored. Was it Argentina? Was it Morocco? Was it France? Was it Netherlands?
Netherlands.
All 3 of their group games?
I know Gakpo had 3. I don't know if he spread them out, but I'm going to go with Netherlands.
You're saying just what team scored in every...
No. Which team had a player who scored in all 3 of their group games?
Oh. I know that Mbappe didn't score in every game, so...
Did Messi? I don't know if Messi did.
Not Morocco. Argentina wasn't one of the guesses, right? It was Netherlands, Morocco.
Argentina, Morocco, France, or Netherlands?
Okay. Then I'm going to go with Argentina.
It was Netherlands with Gakpo. Correct answer.
Nice. Oh, nailed
All
it.
right, I like this question. Which manager used all 26 of the players in his squad?
Ooh. No
Was
fucking
it
clue.
Didier Deschamps on France? Was it Luis Enrique on Spain? Was it Felix Sanchez on I don't know which team? Was it Tite on Brazil?
No clue.
I'm gonna go.
Felix
I'll go
Sanchez
France.
I'll go Brazil.
Felix Sanchez is a coach for Qatar. He's a Qatar coach.
Oh,
What'd you say?
I said Brazil.
and I said France.
It was Brazil. It was Tite. He subbed on
I
their
feel like-
third choice goalkeeper with 10 minutes to go against South Korea to get the 26th player on the field.
That's cool.
Yeah, they had such a large lead in the group stage that I feel like they just fucked around.
Yeah, for sure.
Overconfidence was their downfall.
All right. That's it. That's all I got for trivia.
That was
but
good. That was good.
Dude, yeah,
Thanks
you
for-
had like 20 ready to go. That's impressive. I had 1.
Thanks for playing. Come again.
I had 1. That was good.
Nice.
All right. So, yeah, we are We are over an hour, and we're hitting an hour and 20. Do you have anything else, Torn, you want to go over?
Well, I mean, we could just do our get back into our normal routine. Just check on the Premier League games coming up. We don't have any games this weekend because of the FA Cup, but we usually like taking a gander at the lines for the next slate of games.
Did you check and see what the underdog picks would have done for last week?
I forgot to get the lines before the games.
Okay.
I might be able to dig them up, but starting this week, I will pick it up again though, and we'll see where we're at.
So Andy, we do bets fake bets every week, some real ones, but Torn's been tracking placing a bet on the underdog to win for every single game per week. And
like if you just put like $10 down on every underdog every week. So every week, so it's not like NFL. There's no buys. So every week, every team plays. There's always 10 games.
Okay.
So there's no like weird weeks like, oh, there's only 6 games this week, whatever it is. So if you just put $100 down every week, $10 on every underdog in every game, what would it do? What would happen, right? Because a lot of times they're going to lose.
Sure.
But if they win, the odds are usually very good, right? So that was kind of the philosophy. It's like, what would happen if you did that approach and that style?
Have you been doing that?
We haven't been doing it in reality, but we've been tracking it.
Okay.
Imaginary wise. But for I think it was 5 or 6 weeks we tracked it before the World Cup break. It was winning money.
Like every week, it wins money.
Something that you should consider doing.
It was always positive. At least for the 5-6 weeks that we did. And the worst case is like, so say you do $100, right? It's like the worst case is you lose like 10, 20, $30. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna win some of them back, right? A little bit.
This is Premier League or what league?
Premier League.
Just Premier League.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've only been doing the Premier League. So yeah, we look at the Premier League line. So yeah, so Torn, there are games on 112. So that's mid next week.
Friday. That'll be Friday, I think, is the first game. Yeah.
It's not week. FA Cup. They're Premier League games. So we got Fulham at home for Chelsea. That'll actually be a good game. They're underdogs. Villa and Leeds. Oh, we got the Manchester Derby right there. Manchester United at home. They're plus 330 to win. Manchester's minus 130 to win. Interesting. Brighton at home for Liverpool. That's going to be a good game. There's actually some good games on here.
Yeah, I like this. Nottingham at home against Leicester will be good. Wolves West Ham, that just sounds like a dogfight.
Wait, why is Fulham... Fulham plays Chelsea on 112, and then 3 days later, they play Newcastle.
They're making up for week 7 when they canceled because of the Queen, remember?
Oh, because the Queen died. That's what I meant.
Yeah, so there's a game, whatever that is. What is that? Yeah, that game's on Wednesday, but then the real games start Friday.
Holy shit, yeah, there's so many games. And then there's Tottenham and Arsenal on 115. That's a fucking awesome game. Yeah. And then 4 days later, Manchester City plays Tottenham.
Dude, it's gonna be. And then Liverpool play Chelsea on my birthday.
Dude, that's crazy. Oh. There's so many games.
So we should try one of these games. We should try to live stream then, like we did before. Watch it live if it's on the weekend. For that. Yeah, we'll do the new drinking rules. So I'll track the underdog bets again. If we were to just look at the upcoming slate of whatever that is, 11 games, is there anything sticks out to you that you would bet on? I like I don't know. I like
Brighton at home for Liverpool.
Money down on Leeds. Which one?
I like Brighton at home against Liverpool plus 240. I just think Liverpool is not as good as the odds say they are. I like Fulham at home against a banged up Chelsea. I wouldn't put a lot of money on it, but I think it's good odds to take a shot.
Dude, I like Leeds on the road at plus 310. They're the type of team that can upset a team on the road.
Oh, for sure. And Villa is not that scary of a team.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that one. those are probably the only ones. I don't like the Newcastle at home against Fulham because Fulham's going to be playing on 3 days rest. That's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham at home is an underdog to Arsenal. I'd take Tottenham all day.
I would take the draw too, plus 265 on the draw for that one.
Yeah, I just don't have it in me to place a bet for a draw. It feels weird to me. I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
You sound like an American.
Yeah, I know. That just shows my my U.S. citizenship, but it just feels weird.
A draw?
A draw? No, I can't bet that it's going to end up in a draw. Like, no.
Playoffs?
A playoff? Don't try to win a game.
That's exactly what the English people would say. Is like, what the hell are playoffs? Playoffs?
So that in that podcast, it's the British dude from Men in Blazers. I guess they're both British, but
yeah,
he talks about how he was fascinated with American culture and just loved America, and he moved to Chicago when he was younger, like in the 90s, and he was just talking about the difference between American point of view and like English point of view. And he's like, yeah, you Americans, you just want to win at all costs. Like, that's what matters. And he's like, my team, I'm an Everton fan. He's like, we like losing. I don't know if I like, if there's a way to describe it, but he's like, we kind of.
Yeah, you could describe it as being an A's fan.
Yeah, seriously.
But enjoying it. You like die a little inside. Like,
I love
year.
the pain, baby.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he talks about. Like, just being like being happy with the pain and just coping with the pain and being able to like persevere with others, like through the pain is something, and we all we care about is winning, blah blah blah. It's just interesting.
It's true though. It is a very American thing, because maybe I feel like because none of us are like, I watch hockey a little bit, but we're not like true hockey fans. But ties are much more accepted in hockey, so I feel like American hockey fans are probably more accepting of that. But like most sports, that's just not a thing.
Yeah,
we're just
a tie.
Don't know how to deal with that.
Well, the NFL they tie, but it's stupid.
Yeah,
that happens once a year.
Yeah.
Or twice if you're.
Unless you're Donovan McNabb. I didn't even know we could tie.
Shout out McNabb, baby.
So Andy, it's a long ways away, but I think we should put it on the calendar because we are definitely going to the World Cup in LA. I don't know, is there a location in Northern California that they're going to use?
Yeah, they're supposed to play at the 49ers Stadium in Santa Clara.
Yeah, Santa Clara.
Oh, okay. Well, then you'll probably go there, but I'm definitely going to the LA one.
Oh, shit, because you guys are going to the LA one because you're down there.
Yeah.
4 years? Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
Mark it down in the calendar, man.
I think sleep training should be done by then, so you should be able to
We will be
get
done by then.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, when I left, I had to go peep my head over the fence and then ask the neighbors to turn it down because they kept waking up our kid.
What'd they say? How'd
They
that
were
go?
like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we'll turn it down." I was like, "You guys sound great, by the way."
Still love you.
They're fucking singing karaoke in the backyard, like with an insane sound system. Like, there's like 5 people there. It sounds like there's a party of like 50, and there's like 5 people, and just one person gets up and they sing.
Love
it.
Yeah, just another
Where's
Saturday night.
at?
Saturday
Neighbors?
night in Dago.
Real. Oh my
Come
God.
on, guys.
Who knew?
Sick invite.
All right.
All
Anything
right.
else? Anything else you got, Torin?
No, that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
No, that was cool, you guys. Thanks for having me on the cast. And,
Cheers! It's nice to see you made it. You made it through the woods, Andy.
That I did.
I feel like that time period is like, I feel like a normal human again. That's how I started feeling. It took me that long.
For real. No, it's a trek. It's a journey.
Yeah.
But it just kind of all blurs together. Like looking back at it, doesn't it? It just seems like, oh yeah, I remember it kind of sucked not sleeping, but you know, it just kind of went and came and passed. You know,
You like get used to just not sleeping normal hours.
right? Exactly.
But looking back on it, like I wasn't functioning at my normal like capacity.
I don't know about you. I didn't really have to, as I was taking some time off work, but
Oh, nice.
that was nice to be able to do.
That is
But
really nice. Yeah.
it's fortunate in that regard. So,
Hell yeah. Well, congrats.
anyways, cheers,
All
you
right,
guys.
fellas. Well,
Cheers.
we'll keep the tradition going. Go out with the chug.
Oh, gotta finish it.
I just like opened this. It's gonna have to be a couple chugs for me. There's no way.
Oh, that's all good. We'll continue it next week. We'll get back in our routine again.
For sure.
All
Yeah,
right,
we got to
guys.
figure out when next week is, Torrin, because there's a weird breakdown of games and they're all clumped together. So
Yeah. Yeah, we'll check. We'll check in next week
All right. All right. Later, boys.
before the weekend. Yeah.
See ya.